If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then you either lived in a cave during the 2000s or are too young to remember this was a meme. Back when I was a little ball of grease, I was too poor to afford games. I was still stuck with the PS1, which wasn't bad, but I could have been playing God of War instead of freaking Axe of Steel. Buying a console was not an option, so instead my mom bought a regular PC with Purple Blaze installed. So, little baby Buonny decided to explore the strange lands known as the internet. Those were the days, man. YouTube was filled with Linkin Park AMVs, mostly of Dragon Ball Z. The biggest YouTubers were Fred, Smosh, and an actual f***ing orange. And people weren't subscribed to Buonny's Pixel Saga yet. Truly the dark ages. Luckily, things have changed and you can correct that travesty. Like, right now. Steam existed, but only for Valve games. If you wanted to play on PC, you had to buy discs. Remember those? Sadly, it seems only I do. But again, I was a little poor baby, so I couldn't buy them if I wanted my family to wipe their ass that month. And even if I had bought them, I still wouldn't have understood how to install games. But luckily, we had another option, hiding between Hi5 and MySpace. Yes, I'm that old. Something called browser games. Flash games. A quick history lesson. Originally JavaScript, a computer language, was meant to be used to make websites cooler. But people figured that was for nerds, so instead they started to use both Java and a software called Flash to make games. You could play them directly in your browser without having to download anything, and they quickly became so popular even Microsoft joined in. You could just put a game on, and you'd play. How insane is that? Wanting to play a game and playing the f***ing game. Holy shit! Fast forward a few years and Newgrounds was born, the #1 website for artists and degenerates to post their art, and a lot of things were posted here, including animations and games. Eventually these works of art and other things would find their way to a lot of websites which would post them. Oh, to be a kid during this time, it was something glorious. Thousands of games at your fingertips without having to pay a single cent for them. I remember coming back home from school and immediately logging in to play masterpieces like Obama Saw Game 2. And yes, this actually exists. The creativity of these games was something never before seen. The quality of some was arguable, but that didn't stop you. You could find all kinds of games from every genre you could think of. Some of them had simple mechanics or a very short duration, but when they were good, wow, they were really good, which could also be said about my set's life. Take Race, or as I call it, Flash Halo as an example. A shooter about a super soldier fighting an alien invasion. Besides having 2 campaigns, your character had access to different types of guns and was surprisingly well done. Armed with Wings is also worth discussing, as this series had everything: a fascinating world, unique art style, interesting lore, and plenty of action. In fact, it was so beloved it ended up getting a remastered version. It was rearmed, you might say, not sponsored. If those aren't for you, it's cool. There were also adventure games, resource management, comedy, and so much more. You could even play games about your favorite franchises like Dragon Ball, Naruto, Sonic, and more. Because this was the Wild West, where copyright laws could suck our peepees. Or vagines. All groins are welcome here. Hell, at one point I was also playing Naruto and Dragon Ball dressing games. They were simple as but goddammit did my OCs look badass. I present to you Cilantro Uchiha, a half Saiyan ninja born in the Uchiha clan with the ability to use both ki and chakra. Also, he's the Sonic of another universe. Yes, I met him when I was 10, how can you tell? But there were a lot of dressing games. So many. Why did you make so goddamn many for individual characters? Why not just pick a series? Anyways, as long as someone had the capacity to draw, anyone could dress up their favorite characters in cute clothes. You just clicked on PNGs and that was it. But you know what? Sometimes you just need to make a hot Latina wife to be happy. My favorite franchise was one called Papa Louie, cooking games about a dude with a mustache swindling everyone to work for him, all while appearing to be a friendly and beloved guy and fueling his evil empire. So an influencer? Yeah, pretty much. The games were basically the same thing over and over again. You take orders, cook the food, and are paid based on how much you f*** up. The charm, however, is on the characters and their personalities, that shine through what they order and wear, the cutesy art style, and the repetitive yet somehow fun gameplay. Back in the day, you could even find these types of games in the websites of Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Facebook when they still had dignity. So, what happened? The same thing that always happens. Mobile games. Dun dun dun! You see, once the App Store launched, a new business model was born. Free to play, alongside some adorable little f***ers called microtransactions. Oh, look at you. Who's a good boy? Yes, you are. You would never ruin an entire industry and prey upon us with prices for things we used to have for free, would you? No, you wouldn't. This new business model allowed developers to receive a lot more money than they would with ads. So slowly but surely, more people wanted a piece of that ass cake. It started out fine. We got games like Angry Birds, Doodle Jump, and Fruit Ninja. Genuinely fun and creative games. But, well, you can see how that turned out. I have mixed feelings about this. On one hand, yeah, more money for the developers who put their heart and soul into their games. That is always good. And like anyone who has sold out on YouTube will tell you, you can't always live from ad revenue. And if ads won't pay for quality games, then who will? Ubisoft! On the other hand, if you give corporations an inch, they'll take a mile, and we f***ing gave them 2 Johnny Sins. Nowadays, they justify charging you $30 for an extra mission, which they could have just put in the game from the start by saying, oh, video games are too expensive to make. Just you wait, in a couple years they'll start charging you for updates. Seriously, what the f is wrong with you Americans? Just use the metric system, you psychos. In all seriousness, I do think it was for the better that Flash games died, if we got games like Hollow Knight and Cuphead as a result. And to be fair, it wasn't entirely mobile games' fault, it was Apple's. Apple told Adobe that they wouldn't support Flash on the App Store, which ended with Adobe killing the software in 2021. Now, before you go on a rant on your social media that ultimately traces back to me and gets me sued, please keep in mind they had their reasons for it. Apple was concerned about security with Flash, and unless you wanted lots of spyware in your phone for downloading Mobile Legends, this actually made sense. On Adobe's part, if you were suddenly told you wouldn't be able to sell anything on one of the biggest stores in the world, I'm sure you also would have bent over for daddy jobs. So yeah, pretty reasons as to why Flash games died. But when you look at it from another perspective, it was a natural evolution of the gaming industry. And hey, we got our indie darlings because of it, so it's not all bad, right? There are still people making Flash games through some superhuman effort, but it will never be the same. No matter how much you squeeze those dry lemons or use substitutes, that's not lemonade and your piece should not be glowing. That said, it does make me sad knowing you will never get to experience these games again. Or will you? Yes! For those of you that don't know, while Flash is deader than BioWare's reputation, some heroes have created the Flashpoint Archive, a project that tries to rescue as many Flash creations as possible and allows you, yes, you to play them on your computer. So if you never had the chance before, now it's your time to try this piece of gaming history. Here are my recommendations. Armed with Wings, every game. Race with a C and Race with a C too. I haven't played the third one, but I have heard it's quite poopy bot. Papa Louie games, made better if you are hungry. Obama Saw games, pretty stupid but also fun if you are into point and click. The Last Stand, The Walking Dead Horde mode, and then kind of an action RPG. Star Wish, one of my favorite games which I somehow forgot the name of. It's an RPG bullet hell, it has different endings and a very good story, so please, please, please play this game. Honestly, just take a look and see what strikes your fancy. It's free and you need something to play while you update Genshin Impact, so why not try them out? Flash games will forever be part of my and many gamers' lives. And I do think we underestimate their importance, as these things used to splash so indie games could break the sound barrier. There's a certain charm to them that you can't find anywhere else. And the people who worked on projects such as this seriously had an insane level of talent. So here's hoping we will keep seeing them in the future. Hey everyone, this is the 5th video I made for the channel so you could see what I'm about, and I'll be uploading as often as I can, but don't expect a video every day. In the meantime, you can stick around and see my other videos. I made one so you could get to know me, and if you had fun, don't forget to activate notifications. This way you are updated when I upload my next comedy masterpiece, or if you have any comments about what you'd like to see next, just tell me, okay? I'm really excited to start this part of my life with you, and I really hope that you give me a chance. So having said that, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you later. Bye!